to identify and solve challenges creatively. All of us were aware that there are challenges, associated with our duties. As a principal, you should be able to resolve those challenges creatively. And number 5, to influence future generation. As principals, we are here to develop and make our future to be a better one. And number 6, to use all available resources for school improvement. Whatever you have around you, you should be able to use them effectively to be able to make sure your school is actually growing well. And the table says, what are the visions of school principals? What are your visions? And number 1, I will say this. The first one is to be a role model. As a role model, everybody around you is looking up to you. Number 2, to achieve excellence. In District 1, we are always achieving excellence. So Group 1, we are going to achieve excellence. Number 3, to use every available resources for school improvement. Yes, the government has tried to provide resources. We need to make good use of all these resources. Number 4, to promote equity and inclusion regardless of background. We should know everybody must be carried along. To train future leaders, to promote implementation and growth, to create a strong school culture, raise a successor for yourself, and lastly, to achieve government policies on education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Group 2.
Well done. Group 2. Group 2. Group 2. Group 3.
Hello. Please.
Group 3.
Hello, let me say something. Hello. We have different groups. You have different questions.
Yes.
You have different groups, you have different questions. It pays you to listen to what is being said by another group.
You don't all have the same questions. So don't believe that you have the same question. No. So the way you treat your questions, fantastic. But another group will present their own answers to their own questions. 3 minutes.
Good afternoon, noble colleagues. The 3 domains of education, how do we get them implemented in our schools? You have the cognitive, the affective,
Please, let
and the
us,
psychomotor. The
as much
cognitive
as possible, be
deals
quiet.
with acquisition of knowledge, critical thinking, and evaluation. While the affective domain has to do with emotional intelligence, motivation, engagement, and feelings. Then the psychomotor has to do with the skill, the motor skill. How do we get our students involved in their in the manipulation of their God-given talents? And that, how do we get them implemented in our schools then? The Lagos State government has introduced the reading culture, Monday, Tuesday, which is meant for reading. This will definitely help the students to develop their intelligent quotient. They will help them to improve their knowledge because they have to read, do their assignments, and even do collaboration among themselves. This will definitely help them to improve their thinking faculty, and their IQ will be improved. The affective domain has to do with apart from what we do in the morning, we have the co-curricular activities. During the curricular activities, these children, these students mingle among themselves, they interact among themselves, like the debating, they have other things we do, so that in the process of doing this, these students interact among themselves, they show their feelings, they do their interaction among themselves, and this will help them to improve. Then the psychomotor. In the psychomotor system, whereby not every student will achieve academically. We all know that. Some of them, in my area, we have Pius Ikedia. Pius Ikedia attended community grammar school in Paja. he couldn't achieve academically, but when he ventured into sport, it became a household name. He was one of the super ego of Nigeria. So if he was denied then that he faced educational cognitive alone, he wouldn't have achieved what he achieved in footballing. So the psychomotor can be developed, whereby we have talent hunts among these children, among these students. Some of them can become a musician. Some of them can become everything with their if the area is well developed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Group 3.
Put your own office. Thank you very, very much, Group 2. Fantastic presentation. Group 3. Group 3. Please let me see your hand. Group 3. Oh, okay.
Good afternoon.
Come. Good afternoon, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Gender equality. What
No.
happened? Groups 1, 2, 3. Why are only men presenting? What happened to our women? Our
They
women
are
of
still
timber
trying
and
to summon
caliber.
of courage. They are still struggling to summon of courage. So I've been given 2 questions. 1A, how do you identify outstanding students in your school and the means of nurturing them? So an outstanding student is a student who constantly demonstrates exceptional academic achievements, demonstrate personal qualities like love, curiosity, diligence, and so on and so forth, and also contribute to the progress of the school as well as the community. So how do you identify them? You identify outstanding students, number 1, through their intellectual curiosity. They are always curious about their studies. You see them always with their books, try to share knowledge with their students, with their colleagues. They display love for learning. They ask thoughtful questions and seek knowledge beyond the classroom. Secondly, you identify outstanding students by their high academic achievements. They always score high grades, high scores in all their subjects. Number 3, they have leadership and leadership qualities, and they have initiatives. They like to take up leadership roles. They like to be involved in volunteering assignments. They like to be involved in projects that benefit not only themselves, but also the school and their colleagues. Number 4, they are very creative and highly innovative. They demonstrate original thinking capacity. They are always talented. You can notice them with raw talent. They are innovative. They are always with problem-solving skills. Number 5, they are always involved in community activities, partnering in extracurricular activities like sports. They are always involved in volunteering, making positive contribution to their communities. Lastly, number 6, they have personal qualities. They have civic qualities like kindness, empathy, love, diligence, and they are highly responsible. How do you nurture them? Number 1, by practically involving them in all activities. You get them involved. Through that involvement, you are able to detect their qualities. Number 2, how do you nurture them? By creating an enabling environment for them to freely express
Please
themselves.
let us allow him to
Number
talk.
3,
Please.
you have positive reinforcement, rewards, and giving them adequate recognition to support them to give more. Number 4, mentorship. You pair them with teachers, mentors, and professionals to ensure that they get to higher level. Number 5, they are involved also in personalized learning plans. The big part of the question is, how do you identify unruly students and means of changing them for the better? So, an unruly student is one who is difficult to control, involved in bad behavior, does not stay in classrooms, does not obey rules and regulations, behave in a disorderly manner, does not dress properly, and essentially a student who is not submissive to authority and very, very hard to manage. Thank you.
Group 4, please.
Thank you very much.
Group 4.
God bless you. I hope you have submitted.
No, can I have the paper, please?
Please,
Can
let's
I
have
have
the
it?
presentation. Thank you. Oh, okay.
Good afternoon, all. In our group, we discussed about speaking with one voice. What's your relationship with others? One, principal, your vice principal, your teachers, and non-teaching staff. As human beings, we are social animal, and we cannot do anything in isolation. We have to relate with one another. And if you look at school as a community, majority of us, we are not new to ourselves. We have met, we have worked together to come together again. For example, my vice principal, we have worked together as class teachers, as HOD. Now we are meeting on a higher level. We are also working together. Two principals around us, we are working as a team to achieve the goal of education. So we have to collaborate. We have to work as a team. And Yoruba people will say, "Eni abalaba ni baba." We have our seniors that are well experienced. They have been on this duty. For example, I became a principal just this December. So I need to collaborate with the senior colleagues to learn from them. We seek guidance from them. We seek counseling. They counsel us. For example, I believe in this. When you don't know, you ask questions, or else you will fail. So whenever we are given task, and I don't really know how to go about it, I will call any of my senior principal or other colleagues and ask them how to go about things. For example, if you are in a school complex, security problems, a lot of things may arise. You have to work together. With our vice principal, you cannot do anything alone. You have to work together as a team. And there must be cordiality. You must respect them. And you must have what we call emotional intelligence, even towards your teachers. When you realize that maybe there is a change in their appearance, in their mood, you have to come up and ask questions and assist them. Also, to the non-teaching staffs, they are located. We really need to be very careful the way we relate with them. We have to show them love. We have to teach them. And when you give tasks, you assist them too. And you ask for feedbacks. It's not that we give them tasks and we go and relax. We have to monitor them. We have to supervise their activities. If you want to succeed as a leader, you have to cooperate and work with others. Thank you very much.
Thank you. 5. Is that 5?
4.
Eh?
5.
5. Group 5. Well done, madam. Group 5. 6.
Is there no group 5?
5.
Thank you, ma. For table 5, the question is management of teachers' irregularities in schools due to health challenges. So we've started by finding out what is the meaning of management. Management means for somebody as a leader, act of leading, act of controlling or directing and executing with the available resources that is present in the school.
An irregularity means violation of rules and regulations. Now, talk of these teachers' irregularities. Part of the irregularities of the teachers can be lateness to school, absence from school, not attending classes regularly, not marking notes and tests, and not disciplining the students as expected. How do we manage such? The first thing we should realize in the health of the teacher could be physical or emotional. So if it is physical health challenge, then the first thing we should investigate what is the nature or the type of sickness that teacher had. Then we advise such a teacher to go for medical checkup. Then if the report comes, we look into the report, and if need be, we refer the case to the district. And from the district further, then coming back from the district, we might have a light duty excuse for that teacher if that sickness is a bit tough. So when we have the light duty excuse, then on the part of the management, we are to look for reduced work on that teacher. Then we exempt such teacher from other physical activities like the morning lessons, afternoon lessons, and so on. Then give an assistant teacher to such a teacher whenever the teacher has to go to class to assist. Then we not, if it's not going to be emotional sickness, then the first thing we should do is to counsel, find out what the problem is. Then from there, we don't allow such a teacher to stay alone. Then we allow such a teacher to mingle with other teachers. Then tell other teachers to always just accommodate the activities or any form of the thing that the teacher brings up, and make sure that we are friendly with such a teacher. Thank you.
Group 6, can I have it?
Thank you very much. Thank you. Listen. Group 6. Six.
I'm representing Group 6, and our questions are 1A. When faced with challenges, who is your first responder? And the B part says relationship with the districts, ministry, and the states. For the first one, when we talk about first responder, the person at the helm of affairs in the establishment is the first responder that we'll talk to. So in case of our establishment, our schools, we know that we are not just in our schools by ourselves. We were posted to the school. So if we have difficulties that we cannot handle, because with what we have as difficulties here, we are looking at hurdles, crossroads, obstacles, problems that you cannot resolve by yourself, because as principals of schools, we have challenges every time. But it's not all the challenges that we are going to call the district. There are some that we can call, that we can solve by ourselves. But when it gets to the ones that we cannot solve by ourselves, we have to report to the district. For instance now, God forbid bad thing. If there is a case of a student was not seen in the house for the past 3 days, and the parents are in your school, that we have not seen our daughter, we have not seen and he has gone to school, and the student has not come to school, and they are with police. Who are you going to call? we'll call the TGPS that we have this particular parent, so they are with police in the school, that their daughter or son has not been here for some time, because we cannot just go into the police by ourselves. So we'll call the TG, and the TG will give us direction of what we should do. Then concerning the second one, relationship with the district, ministry, and state. In civil service, we have structures that we follow. You cannot just write, I need something in my school and now go to ministry. No, there are protocols to follow. First of all, we relate with the districts. We relate with the districts, and the relationship we have with the districts, that everything that is going on in our school should not be in the dark to the districts. Most especially when things are not the way it should be. So we relate with the district on that level. We report situations, and if apart from that, everyday affair of the school is supposed to be reported to the secretary directly or indirectly. That is why you have time book where the teachers sign, where you sign. So if they need it at any time, it's a report. You relate to them on that level. So they know all that. And for the ministry, we cannot go directly to the ministry. So depending on what we want to, we are reporting. So we have to pass through through the ministry. First of all to the district, from the district to the ministry, and the ministry will now know where to go. Maybe they are going to submit that letter or that petition or whatever to the Ministry of Education or to the commissioner or whoever, but it will have to be through the district to the ministry, then to the state. Thank you.
Thank you so much. God
very
bless.
much.
Group 7.
Group 7.
I am here to represent Group 7, and I have two questions here. The first question says, what are the challenges faced in releasing students for competitions? The second part says disadvantages of not releasing students for competition. As principals, you have been loaded with sufficient fund. You have no excuse with your running costs. It is presumed that you have all the available resources at disposal to take care of everything. But despite this, there are a lot of challenges principals are facing. One of them is the parents' attitude. Even when we know that we are supposed to have the consent of the parents, we still have this non-cooperating attitude of the parents towards releasing their child or children for competitions. And this has been a major challenge. Another one is issue of funding. The running costs we have found that it can no longer run. But as a principal, you have been endowed with the wisdom and managerial capacity to manage your resources and ensure these students are exposed to competition. Let me tell you, Lagos State is under competition, under pressure of rivals group all over. But not only in Nigeria, all over the world. And you are expected to groom your children ready to face competition. So even when you don't have the fund, you must fund. That's why we are talking about collaboration today. When you collaborate, to be able to fund competition for your student will be easy. Another one is inadequate time to prepare students. At times, the notice is always short, and we don't have sufficient time to prepare the student adequately for some competition. But nevertheless, in some schools we have our strategies, and our students have been excelling. Another issue is the risk involved. Yes, you want to take your student out for competition, but there are risks. Risk of road accident, risk of kidnappers, a lot of risks are involved. And again, transportation costs nowadays is expensive to move from one location to the other. Another one is safety concern. Even at the competition venue, even the organizers, you have to be sure, you have to certify that directives are coming from the right source, so that you don't end up blaming yourself as an administrator. In fact, at times when I receive signal to attend competition, I will always ask, is it from the right source? If it's not from the right source, I will not release. The last one is the second aspect, disadvantages of not releasing. Of course, your student will lack exposure. They will not be socially exposed. And another point is that their talent will not be discovered. If you keep them in your school, you are not exposing them, you are underplaying them. Another thing is, at times when you go for competition, the students are not always well remunerated. It's a discouragement. And lastly, it's also demean several opportunities available for students. On this note, I round up. Thank you very much.
Group 8. Group 8.
Please. Hello, Mr. Oni.
Just continue.
Yes.
Continue.
My name is Musa Olubenga. I'm representing Group 8. The question given to us is very interesting. The question says, work ethics of a principal or administrator. Thank God that all of us that are here this afternoon or this evening, we are administrators. In any organization, there are rules and regulations, moral values, principles that everybody has to follow. That is what we call work ethics. But I'm going to refer my own to a situation as a principal. And I'm going to divide it into two aspects. The first aspect has to do with professionalism. The second aspect has to do with leadership. Under professionalism, the first thing that you should know as administrator is integrity. If you don't have integrity as an administrator, there is no way the job can be done. When you have a double standard, when you say A, you are doing B, it means you don't have integrity. For a principal or administrator to succeed in his school or her school, integrity counts. The second one is accountability. You should be accountable for whatever decision you take. The money given to you as your running cost should be judiciously spent. You should be accountable. All the materials given to you in your school, you should be able to give account of it. Not that you are giving, when you are maybe when the principal that is going in the handover note, maybe you are giving 5 biros. When you get to your own turn, it remains 4. You should be able to give account how that one has missed. The third one has to do with respect. As we all know that our job is a dignified job as a principal. Respect is reciprocal. If you don't respect your teachers, you don't respect the community which you are, you don't relate with the staff very well, there is no way you can achieve success. Having said that, let's go to the other aspect of it, which is leadership. What we all know, as a principal, as administrator, you are a leader in your school. You should be able to discharge your responsibility very well. The first one is visionary. As a leader, you must have a vision for your school. That what do you want your school to achieve in the next 2 or 3 months? The other one is collaboration. A tree does not make a forest. As a school administrator, you need to collaborate with your teachers, with even the community you find yourself, so that you'll be able to achieve results. Decisive, that is the one. You must be able to take decision at appropriate time. Thank you. Though I still have some other points, but the time is limited. Thank you so much.
Group 9, please. Thank you. Group 9.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm representing Group 9. And the question is strategies for monitoring and mentoring of teachers. Before I proceed, what is mentoring? When we're talking of mentoring, we're talking of when someone with much experience is guiding or advising someone with less experience. And it's the purpose of mentoring is to facilitate personal and professional growth. Well, we're talking of the mentoring. Principal serves as a role model, both the teachers and the students. When we're talking of role model, you're a role model, both academically. The principal should be able to go to the class, teach the students using any of the technologies as well. So the principal himself or herself must be bracing up. So not that the teacher is going to be better than you in your subjects. You should be able to do that. Dressing as well. A principal should be a role model to the teachers. And a principal as well, when you're talking of behavioral attitude in the school compound, the principal should be up and doing as well. Principal must set achievable goals and objectives. He or she must be able to set achievable goals, not a big one, not a gigantic ones that he or she cannot achieve. And when you're doing that with a team. And you must be able to have a dialogue session with the teachers in the in-house training. So we're talking about monitoring now. How do you monitor? You use the good usage of time book. You use your time book, you use your movement book, and you use your lesson minutes registers to monitor the teachers. The teaching and learning observation, you have to be able to go. You are not a sit-tight principal in your office. You must be able to go out once in a while to see the teachers. What are they doing? Are they really teaching what you're supposed to be teaching? Are they really following the syllabus? So you must be able to do that. And before you can do that, you must up your game as well. You are not the kind of a teacher who will get to the class and don't even understand what the teacher is saying. So the teacher should be, principal should be able to encourage growth mindset against a fixed mindset. You remember, there was a time we were being taught mindset and fixed mindset and the growth mindset. You must be able to grow your mind. Not that I cannot do it. I'm not able to do it. But I can do it. That's the growth mindset. I can do it. Yes, we are able. We can take it on. Let's go over there. The usage of reward. The usage of reward and punishment. The principal should be able to give rewards. When teacher does anything, or even the student, when they do anything right, you must be able to reward them. And when they don't do it right, you must be able to give them the appropriate punishment. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm sure you all heard one or two things. Like we said earlier on, the essence of this gathering together is to share ideas. Actually, we have slides that had been prepared for this workshop. But because of time, we cannot share the slides with you. Your PS will get back to you. All these points that everybody had talked about, we get them back to you. But the truth of the matter is, who are you? Hello? Who are you? Like a lot of the people who spoke this morning, this afternoon had said, you are the principal of the school. As the principal of the school, what drives you? I remember the last school I was in before becoming a PS. Two of my friends, and they were VPs, they came to me and said, and then Mrs. Onodipe was the PS. I did not know I was going to be a PS. They came to me and said, Auntie, we want to become principals. And I asked them, I said, you want to become principals? That's a good thing. But why do you want to become principals? When I asked that question, they were taken aback. I said, is it because of then it was not 250, it was 100,000 running cost. For senior schools. And for junior, it was 60,000, if I can remember well. No, it was not. No. It wasn't 20. For junior schools. What? No. 60. Later, by the time, at least I remember very well, it was changed to 250. They started the work, but we completed it. I said, you want to become principals. Is it because of the money? Is it because, at least let it be on record, that I become a principal? More or less the zenith. And I remember in all seriousness, when we joined the teaching service then, the highest you could become was a director, a level 16. There was no level 17. Nobody ever thought of this. And there were some of us who came into teaching because we just looked at it like, let me just do something. But later, as time went on, you now realize that there's a greater purpose. One thing I tell people is that God does not make a mistake. There's no way I will talk to you this afternoon without my faith coming in. You are a principal in a school because God proposed that you will be a principal in that school. And when the time comes, God will ask you, those children I put in your care, what did you do about them? One thing I used to tell people, and I'll keep telling them, we have a lot of children in the school system who need you and I to affirm them. Hello, am I making sense? They need you to affirm them. Some of them come from dysfunctional homes where the parents are maybe at loggerheads, and there are some of them who even have loving parents, but because of circumstances where they are born into. And I tell people, in all honesty, where you are born into, be happy to come to school because there is a father figure, there is a mother figure that God has given them. There's this song I sing to every principal I come across. Ọmọ rọra rí ìwọ lójú gbogbo ìwọ. Ọmọ rọra rí ìwọ lójú gbogbo ìwọ. As the principal of the school, you determine the tone of your school. When teachers see you, they should be happy to come to school. When teachers look at the environment, they should be happy that my principal cares about me. And sincerely, one thing I know is that teachers are so easy to make happy. I remember there was a program we had some few months back with as Alaops. And one of the people, I'm sure Mr. Onodipe will remember, one of the people who sat on our table was Mrs. Ademola. She was a retired head of service. And she said one of her greatest time, because she's an accountant, was working with teachers. She said teachers are so loving. This is an accountant. This was somebody who retired as head of service. She said teachers are so loving. And that is the truth. Because, that thing is in you. You bring out the best in that child. And it is a calling. But if you don't see it that way, you cannot do it. So please, I want to believe that from now, you look at it, that I am in that school for a purpose. I am in that school, there's a vision. What is your vision? Your vision is what you see. If you are in a school, after 3 months, you cannot make a difference. Then you are a misfit for that school. If you are in a place, and nobody can say, since this person came to our school, this is what has been happening. So please, let's let's examine ourselves. May God help us in Jesus' name. The three domains of education: cognitive, affective, psychomotor. We have a system in Nigeria where we have a lot of students who are maybe, they have autism. They have Down syndrome. They have so many issues that the school system, because of, except maybe some private schools, and those private schools that recognize those children, they are the very top, high-paying schools. Do you have a Down syndrome in your school? Child. Do you have a child who lacks confidence? How do you bring that child that maybe the best you can get out of that child is when that child starts singing? You know, there's a lady, that lady, the lawyer, asked a question. She said, there are a lot of things we don't do in our schools. It's not true. We do, it's okay. Did you ask the question? There are a lot of things we do in our schools. But the thing is, those children, how do you bring them to be what God has called them to be? My strength. You know, the Bible says there's no child that has been born into the world that God has not deposited some talents, some gifts into the child. How do you bring out that child, that talent, that hidden talent that is in that child? How do you make them know that their gifts make way for them? If a child is not so academically inclined, and because that child is not academically inclined, you look at it like, you are, may God help you. In fact, there's this phrase I used to say, I say, praise the Lord case. Because we don't want to say negative things about our children. I remember when I was young, my mom used to say, Omota shekwe fun, Omota shadura fun, koti shorire. Talk less of Omota shekwe fun. So that child in your school that is a basketballer, that child in your school that can dance, that child in your school that does a lot of things, how do you bring all the different things, the different domains of education to bring out the four for that child to be the best God has brought that child to be? May God help us in Jesus' name. Identifying outstanding students. Who is the child that is outstanding? Not necessarily academically. Like I said earlier on, it's not about academics. It's not about academics. You know, there are so many children. And I know that one of the things I remember years back, although maybe I shouldn't say this because is a new commissioner for education, we started what we call the comprehensive school system. And to the glory of God, the federal government is revisiting it in a way where a child is maybe not so good academically, but the child can draw. There are some children, when they sit down, they look at you, they bring out artistic features. You see picture of yourself. You look at it like, wow. So how do we develop this kind of children? They're outstanding. They are geniuses. A child doesn't have to be a genius academically alone. So there are ways, all these things are already there, but we just want you to look at things that you can do. Or you have an unruly child. A child can be unruly. Maybe if the child has somebody like me, I cannot sit down for long. Hello, I'm restless. As I was there, in fact, normally I don't sit on the high table. When I was a PS, whenever I had any program, I would say no high table. Victor can say it, Titi can tell you. Even Mr. Adebowale will tell you. I always say I want a table by the side. Because the moment you're on that high table, everybody's on you. That's when they will see that maybe you are laughing when you are not supposed to laugh. That's when they will see you are eating what you are not supposed to eat. You know, I sang that song, Omo Rora Wo, Iwo Loju Gbogbo Wo. Every eye is on you. as the principal of the school. So that child in your school, what do you do about that unruly child? If you have a child in your school who is unruly, you can make that child a prefect. I did it and it worked. There was a principal I worked with, Mrs. Adebayo, Auntie Doris. We used to call her Auntie Doris. What? It's okay, I shouldn't mention it. She taught us that thing. The students who are unruly, we made them prefects. And I remember when I was a principal, there was this girl, very, 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 very troublesome. And I made that girl a prefect. Can you imagine? This girl called all her friends, said, come on, no more nonsense in this school. Oh. I am now a prefect. You must obey me. And sincerely, they obeyed her. They all obeyed her. And that was more or less the end of unruliness in the school. So I know there are other things that we can look at to get the best out of these children. May God help us in Jesus' name. Now, what's your relationship with other principals, your vice principal, and the teaching staff? Do you give your VPs money? Hello? Do you give them money? Or it is my time? Our asiko tiwa leleyi. Go and wait for your turn. When your turn comes, you can't. But this one, no, this is my money. Do you talk down on them? You know, whether you like it or not, life is, the Bible says time and chance happens to everyone. You are not better than that principle. If I look at myself and say that I was a PS because, then I'm telling myself a lie. God just looked at me and said, I want to bless you. And apart from blessing you, I want you to be a blessing. So God put you in that school. Above that, in fact, there was a time I was a principal, my VP and the two VPs, we were on the same level. And they were older than me. May God help me. They were my colleagues. In fact, one of them I discovered that we were even in the same university. We finished at the same time. To the glory of God, we are friends. But I had to borrow my self-sense. Because there's no way, there's nobody you talk down on that will be happy with you. And if they don't have the opportunity to respond to you, they are cursing you in their hearts. And if they have the opportunity, they will harm you. And there's this Yoruba thing that that person that you offend, that cannot even hurt you, that reports you another person and say, and I remember my somebody used to say, Ogunka, kokoro kekere baini. May God help us. Amen. Then the last one I will attend to. Management of teachers' regularities in the school due to health challenges. We are not equal. We have different challenges. And sincerely, there are a lot of things that if you are smart, the school doesn't even have to know. The district doesn't have to know. What you need to do is buy your teachers' confidence. When they have that confidence in you, they will come to you. When they have health challenges, they will open up to you. And when they open up to you, you should be able to see what you can do to assist them. And at times, 5 naira, 10 naira, you can raise money. On a serious note, you can raise money amongst colleagues and say, please, this money we are raising is because there's one of us who has health challenges. And as you are raising this money, use that seed you are sowing to pray that this seed I'm sowing will make a way for me. May God help us in Jesus' name. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I try to make it, so you get the slides later. No, she will talk about it. She said I should talk about dressing. In fact, hello, before I go, all of us wearing Ankara, can we stand up? On a Thursday. On a Thursday. Ankara or native. On a Thursday. on a Thursday, principal, madam principal. It is what? It is what? Hello? Is it not Wednesday and Friday that is for natives? Mr. Adebowale. No. It is not allowed. Hello. There's what is called dress sense in the teaching profession. Even you cannot wear slippers to school. You cannot wear jeans. You cannot wear slippers no matter how beautiful your slippers is. I could say I'm coming after all I've retired. I don't have to wear something, whatever. But Irinisini Sheni Lojo now. How can you as a principal come for an official program where on a Thursday? Unless the system has changed. It has not changed. Hello? Don't let me take you up. Because we can call the head of service and find out what is the dress sense. Mr. Adebowale, maybe you should be able to answer this question. District 1. Where is Daha? Where is your Daha? Daha. Daha. No.
Yes, the Daha is well dressed. He's putting on shoe and cap.
And he's not a principal. Yes. Not for the teacher. That's general. Not for you. No, not for the teacher. No. It's not for teachers. Hello.
It is not for teachers.
It's not. What you are saying is that the head of service sent a circular. That circular is not for teachers. Hello.
Officer.
Hello. It's for hello. It's like when the government said 3 days for levels 1 to 12. So why were you coming to school every day? Hello. When the government said there was when the government said they were giving staff 3 days to come to the office and 5 days for the teachers. So why were you not staying at home for 2 days now? You are dealing with life, but your dressing doesn't matter. Remember, Wednesday and Friday is for natives.
Even when I was there, it was only Friday.
It's only Friday. It was later that it was now said because of Yoruba Day. Yes, Yoruba Day, you now have Wednesday. How can you come here on Thursday for an official outing and you're wearing agege? They say it's agege that said they should wear this.
Thank you very, very much, Mrs. Okelola. Well, let's just round it off. She has talked about dressing. But let me add something. You are all principals. Yes or yes? Yes. So, how can you prove to me that you are a principal? Please stand up. Please stand up. Face them. Is it written on their faces? So, how will you know that they are principals? No scarf. Anywhere you are going, for any official outing, yes, any official outing, this makes, yes, thank you very much, madam. This makes a difference. When you are going for any official outing, you must always go with your scarf. Whether you are a man or a woman, this makes you a principal in Lagos State. There must be a difference. 2 days ago, I went for the retirement of a colleague. Because I'm no longer in the service, we also have our SASH. Allow us. Allow us SASH. That's why when your Commissioner 2 was talking about it, he mentioned Allow us. Allow us is the Association of Lagos State Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries. I put my SASH. That makes a difference when you are going for any official outing. Please, principals in District 1, you have wonderful people. But please, let me be able to identify you when I see you on the road, that you are a principal in Lagos State. Thank you. So, we also talked about first responder. We also talked about first responder. That when there's a problem in your school, I think I mentioned it when I was delivering my paper earlier. Don't keep anything, any situation that you cannot handle by yourself, to yourself. By the time you speak to your directors in the school, speak to your VP, speak to senior teachers, oh, this is what is happening. We don't know how to handle it. Please always reach out to either, because I learned that there are district officers in charge of schools. So always reach out to that district officer. Let them know exactly what is happening. Because if you don't let them know, it will seem as if you are covering up something illegal. So for you not to be said that you are doing anything illegal in your school, please always make sure you open up and let them know exactly what is happening. And if the PS cannot handle, if the officer cannot handle it, the district officer definitely will get in touch with the PS. And of course, the PS knows what to do from there, even if he feels that, this one is beyond the district. So the Lord will help all of us. And then, let's look at the challenges we face in releasing students for competitions. Yes, the group 7 that handled it, they did a beautiful job, I can tell you that. Yes, they did a beautiful job, beautiful presentation. They talked about safety of the child, blah, blah, blah. When you expose your children, they get better. Expose them, you get better. Despite the fact that you expose them, you make sure that you put everything in place to make sure that they are safe. You must ensure their safety. And thank God for the NGO that came up today to tell us that they are planning bicycles for our children. If schools have bicycles, why not? But like I said in my presentation, maybe when we have bicycle lanes, you are able to manage it. And then I learned something from another district. That when the children are going out, do you know what the principal do? Or no, the PS, the TGPS, will take Marwa to take them there. Solely for that purpose. And of course, that means that some money must part from that administrator. So please, whatever money comes, yes, there was a circular like a colleague was showing. Yes, that circular, yes, is for all public servants. But you see, we are different. For example, your peers, if I ask you, what is his position? What will you tell me? Yes, what is his title? TGPS. TGPS. He's wearing 2 caps. He's wearing 2 caps. Do you know that ALAOPS that we belong to, I told you it is the Association of Retired Heads of Service and Permanent Secretaries. When he retires, all of us, we have retired, we belong to ALAOPS. Outside of ALAOPS, do you know that tutors, general, and permanent secretaries, we belong to another association? Brett Jeffs. Brett Jeffs, body of retired tutors, general, and permanent secretaries. So we belong to two groups because we are wearing two caps. And because of the second cap, it's not only TGPS. We have those ones, Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary. We have Auditor General and Permanent Secretary. Those ones, they wear two caps. Accountant General too and Permanent Secretary, they wear two caps. Surveyor General and Permanent Secretary. You understand? We wear two caps. In our own case, we are tutors general. You see, that tutor makes a difference. Because when, as parents, when your child sees you drinking hap at 8 a.m. in the morning, when you see that child at 16 drinking hap at 12 noon, you will say, it's too early to drink hap. Is that not what you will tell him? Yes. Why is he drinking it? It is because he sees you doing it. It is do as I do, not do as I say. So please, because we are dealing with children, we are dealing with lives. Generally, public servants, permanent secretaries are dealing mainly with, talked also about monitoring and mentoring. Monitor our teachers, we mentor them. Especially when you have new teachers just being posted to your school. Always make sure that you do in-house training for them. Because in your school, you have some teachers that have been there for years, and you have some that are just coming in. You don't expect the teachers just coming in to be as good on the field like the teachers that have been there for 10, 12, 15 years. No, they cannot be the same. They cannot be the same. So don't say, teacher. No. All of us that are teachers, what the subject we are teaching now, is it what we were taught in uni that we are teaching in the class now? No. Because when you get to school, they will give you a syllabus, they will give you everything. And what will you need to do as a new teacher? You have to go and read. Isn't it? You must continue to read. You must continue to read. You must continue to learn. You cannot stop learning. And that's why many people, many of us, when they change your subject to another subject, you don't like it. The reason is that you need to go and read for you to be able to write your lesson notes. The teachers just coming in, the new teachers, how do you teach them how to write lesson notes? Or they will just write something and then you will cross and cross and cross and say, you didn't write it, well, go and write it. Yes. On paper, the person has been taught. But practically, please teach them. Do in-house training. And that's why even when we were supposed to have this training, you know, your PS was telling us that before they resume for the second half of the term, that we should do it at the beginning. Why? Because he wants to prepare the administrators for the new time, so that they will do something different. So we are learning now. So that one thing that you have learned today, please go back and go and put it in practice. In-house training is very, very essential. Some of you may feel that when you do in-house training, you have to give them a Coke and meat pie. That one is going to cost you. It's not every day you do it. It's not every day. For instance, your PS I saw some of you eating rice. Do you think that the money he used to buy the rice, to make the rice, do you think he got it from Sanwo-Olu? No. No. You see, the point is that if you put in something, definitely other things will come out to you. You cannot but sow. It is anybody that sows that must reap. If you have not sown corn, how do you plan to reap corn? It's not possible. You have to sow. You have to sow. The running course they gave me, it has finished because I had to repair I have to rescrete some classrooms that the children spoiled. I have to do some the desk that the children broke. The money is finished. I don't have money again to do this. 5,000, 10,000 should not, and I'm sure will not harm you. And by the time you are sowing in 5,000 or 10,000, I can assure you that 50, 100,000 will come back to you. It may not be in the area of money. It may just be that your child, it may not be that somebody will give your child money, but because of your good heart, because of what you do for the benefit and for the sake of those children that have been committed into your hands, you find out that anywhere and everywhere your own children go, they will just be finding favor. I remember one woman that just said, when my daughter was going to London, I was saying her, in the midst of all these people, how will you be able to thrive? And I told her, I said, don't worry, God will take care of her. And do you know that by the time this woman gave me testimony, I was just looking at her mouth. And she was telling me that the boss, that if you see the boss, white man, if you see the way this man was treating this girl, you will think that you handed over that child to that Oyinbo man. And those are the benefits. Those are the benefits of teachers. When we were